everybody, David the AI Guide here on Saturday, and we got a bunch to talk about today. Last time, when we were talking about 3D printing and AI, we talked about how AI can improve 3D printing both in terms of quality and in terms of repeatability, or making the exact same thing over and over again, or even in designing completely new materials that have never been designed before. So AI has a huge role in 3D printing, and some of the ways that AI is being used in 3D printing is specifically in healthcare. 3D printing of human organs is starting to really take off. So did you know that there's 112,000 people on the transplant list in the United States every day, which is a huge number. And every day about 20 of those people die because they cannot get an organ in time. So being able to 3D print human organs is hugely beneficial for two reasons. One is it prevents unnecessary death. Two, by 3D printing an organ, you don't get the rejection of tissue because you're not taking a kidney or whatever from another person. You're making the person a replacement kidney from their own tissue. So there's no rejection. This is a tremendous breakthrough in medical. It's just stunning. But this is just barely getting started with what AI and 3D printing are doing these days. In the space arena, both Blue Origin and SpaceX are using AI-driven 3D printers to build multiple components for their rockets. ULA, which is more the traditional government contractor, sort of slow to adopt new technologies, rocket company is also starting to adopt 3D printing, especially for single parts that might be in the engine or in other parts of the rockets. Because remember, 3D printing is really terrific for low volume manufacturing. In fact, it far outperforms traditional manufacturing in low volume, because traditional manufacturing was really designed for huge runs, making 100,000 pairs of blue jeans kind of thing. So if you're building a rocket and the rocket only has one or two of a bunch of different parts, well, 3D printing makes way more sense for those parts. And it's not only rockets where 3D printing driven by AI is really taken off. The airplane you fly on every day has a bunch of 3D printed parts on it. For example, did you know that all Airbus aircraft today have over 1,000 parts made from a 3D printer on it? I didn't know this myself until I did the research. So this is really something at how fast 3D printing is penetrating what we call aerospace, which is commercial and military aviation, very, very quickly. And this is going to accelerate. Boeing is behind Airbus in 3D printing, but they're working hard to catch up. And in addition to all that, both of the major manufacturers are working hard to create the aircraft interiors, which is wholly separate from the airframe, by 3D printing. This would promote much faster build out of the interior of aircraft, number one. And number two, every aircraft practically can be custom. Once you load the design in, the printer goes to work and builds the interior of the aircraft, and it could literally be customized for a particular wealthy customer, say on a business jet or whatever. So 3D printing is accelerating dramatically in aerospace. But wait, there's a whole other industry where 3D printing is on the cusp of completely changing it. And that industry is construction. So did you know that a 3D printer can now build an entire house? and even a smaller commercial building. In fact, this is so advanced that the following things are already being done. First of all, there's a company called HouseMe, where in the southwestern United States, you can order a 3D printed home and it's delivered to you in 4 to 8 weeks versus 3 to 6 months to build a house the traditional way. So you get your house way, way, way faster by 3D printing, and they build the whole thing at their factory with 3D printers and ship it to you. So that's really cool. But in addition, the use by nonprofits of 3D printers to build low-income housing has taken off globally. One example of this here in the United States is in Austin, Texas. They're building a low-income community with a 3D printer, but they're also doing this in Africa. They're doing it in Central America. And these printers are building people 600 square foot homes, which is, about the size of, say, a 2-bedroom apartment. So it's a decent sized home, and it can build the structure of the home for only $10,000. You cannot even come close to touching that with traditional construction. It's multiples of that. Now, even after you build a 3D printed building, you still have to outfit it, right? You still have to do all the electrical work, all the plumbing work, all the fit and finish, which is like, painting, wallboard, molding, all that stuff. But the actual structure can be built much faster and much cheaper with a 3D printer. So you can see a bunch of examples of very avant-garde homes and even a commercial building built with 3D printer online. So this is all super, super cool stuff. But wait, we're not nearly done yet. Another industry where 3D printing is taking off is in the food industry. So did you know that 3D printers are being used now to make wine and to make food? Now, the food has been an experiment, right? When they first started trying to 3D print food, it was pretty nasty, to be honest with you. But now it's getting better and better and better. And within 5 years, 3D printed food will be indistinguishable from naturally grown food. This will obviously has the potential to dramatically change the hunger situation, not only in the US, but in the world. So there's a lot of stuff going on with 3D printing, all being driven by AI. AI is enhancing and accelerating the adoption of 3D printing. So it's a critical complementary technology to 3D printing. We got one more shot at wrapping up 3D printing, and then we're going to go straight into current events and stay there. So every video after this coming Tuesday will be nothing but what is happening this week in AI around the world. And there's so much going on, it's endless. So thanks a lot, and I'll see you soon.